Okay, here we are, T-minus 2 minutes and 50 seconds until Starship test flight 5, the one with the catch, the big one. Fingers crossed they actually go for a catch today. I, I think they will. I think they actually have a decent chance of catching it. I don't know. I feel good about today. I'm really hyped. And also there was all the upgrades to the heat shield as well. So we'll hopefully see this ship make it through the atmosphere a little bit more unscathed than in Flight 4. But I don't know, it's this. Look at it, it's beautiful. They had a really nice sunrise earlier, right at the start of the window, and I'm a little bit gutted that they pushed. It's a 30-minute window, and they're launching at 25 minutes into the window. A little bit ago, the sunrise was gorgeous. I really wish they went then, but I think they're going to be able to provide their own gorgeous views, just in a little bit of a different sense, in just over a minute's time. Yeah, this is. I am so hyped right now.
Our final checkouts, but we are
T-minus 1.5 minutes.
Here that it looks like the range is going to be clear.
Okay.
At our liftoff time of
7:25 a.m. Central. 7:25 is the liftoff, and the catch should be
that puts us 1 minute 20 seconds
around
away from launch.
6 minutes 33.
Still not
So we're less than 10 minutes away from potentially a catch attempt here.
Potentially poking at our
That
launch.
is
So I'm
wow.
going to start to quiet down. We'll hear our flight director for
So
today.
this is Booster 12, Ship 30. They've been
As of right
building
now,
tons of these things. Like the production site just looks so amazing now, going from a few tents in a field to a full-blown factory. But here we are 45 seconds away. 45 seconds away. I wonder if all the Raptors are going to work today. We did have a Raptor out on the last flight. I want to get back to those 33 perfect, every single Raptor glowing away. Like the calm before the storm.
Go for launch.
Go for launch. And they have the option to abort the catch attempt as well and go for a landing in the Gulf. So we're going to be listening out for that that call out around the time of the boost flight burn. But here we are. Okay. 10, 9, 8, 7,
T-minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All the Raptors are up. We're going today. We're off. Okay, let's go. It's beautiful as ever. It's amazing just how sophisticated this has gotten in like the space of 5 flights. You know, going from that crazy flight 1 to this, where it looks so put together. Okay, all the Raptors are going for it.
30 seconds.
You know, Flight 1 was so janky, and when you got into this is the most powerful rocket that's ever been built. And it hits its window, you know, it hits its liftoff, there's no holds, no nothing. It's just incredible.
Avionics power, telemetry nominal.
33 Raptor engines.
Look at that! Absolutely stunning.
Max Q.
Okay. I'm just staring at those engines at the moment.
The most stress the vehicle's gonna see on the way uphill.
And we've got hot staging as well. Another bout of hot staging. The sequence when hot staging happens is so cool. Watching those engines, they release some of the slow-mo after. But watching the 33 engines shut down in a sequence, and then the engines of Starship starting up, and then the flip, it's like rocket acrobatics. It's just incredible. Okay. So hot staging is 2 minutes 40, so we've got about a minute left of the first stage burn. I've got the timeline pulled up over here, which isn't always accurate. It was a little bit off on a couple of things last time, which led me to thinking, holy crap, that looks incredible.
All but 3. We're going to do what's called most engines.
Oh, that is
main engine cut off.
beautiful.
And then we're
That's
gonna
that,
begin as our ship ignites.
you know, the fact that this rocket uses methane is, it burns so clear and like
Right now, the
beautifully.
tower team is doing their go no go.
Okay, Tower are doing their team. They're not go no go. So we'll find out any moment now if they're going for a catch.
And we might hear some really good words soon too. All right.
Fingers crossed, fingers crossed, fingers crossed. We'll know shortly.
Can still see it up behind me.
Okay,
That is
here
one
comes
of
hot
the gorgeous
staging.
things I've ever seen in my entire life. Coming
There
up
it
on
goes.
staging next.
Ship engine
There's
startup.
both engines cut off.
Start off a shot.
Stage
Shit.
separation.
There goes the flip. Here comes the boost back burn. All the engines for the boost back burn are online.
Hot stage.
So that was a successful hot stage again. And now, any moment now, we're going to find out. Are they going for
its own power? I'm seeing
for a
6 out of
catch?
6 Raptors lit. Hopefully, I got a booster on the way back to me. I'm going to send it to you guys in Hawthorne.
Oh man, that was absolutely incredible. I love how the
Chamber pressure is nominal.
crowd here in Hawthorne all went ooh at that first view of the blue flames from the booster. As you can see there,
that go?
first stage currently performing, or excuse me, is now making its way back to
come on.
the launch site. Again, we are
Ship avionics power and telemetry nominal.
the
Ship's all
booster
good.
and the tower are both performing automated checks to make sure we are go for the booster to return
Okay.
to the launch pad for that
The boost
catch.
back burn is
And
about
once
to
those
shut
are
down.
complete, the flight director
Booster burn shutdown.
Did they send the command for a catch?
Booster again.
I didn't know. I missed that.
We did hear that the tower is go for a catch, so that was one of the big
Okay.
criteria we were looking for.
That is a new view.
this view
We'll
here.
wait to hear that the. We'll wait
That's
to hear
on
that
ship.
the
That's going to be
go for a
awesome
catch has been
during
set.
the re-entry.
Beautiful view here from the ship.
And so exciting to hear that we got a go for booster catch. I mean,
They've got a go for booster catch.
Morning. Again, the booster is making its
Again,
way
it can
back
all the way
towards
down, even during a landing burn. I'm pretty sure it
land,
can still divert
in
away from the
order to
tower if it
make
needs
that
to.
catch
But
attempt in the tower.
So incredible to see these views. You can see the ship
It's on
on
its
the
way
right side of the
back.
screen. All 6 Raptor engines are under full power.
just this idea of catching a rocket
Once
stage,
again,
coming down, just going.
the booster is making its
catching
way
onto it is
back to
incredible.
the launch site. We are going to try and catch it using the
That's
top stakes on the launch
hot
tower, the
stage.
exact same tower that it
Is that the
is
hot stage
from
ring in the background of like the
just
booster there?
about
You
5
can
minutes
kind of
ago.
see it, I think.
Yeah, the booster.
Starship on nominal
Guys,
trajectory.
I can confirm the command was sent for the booster to come back.
Yes,
That is
yes, let's
incredible.
go for it. Go for it.
It's pretty much.
You can see
right
the fact the hot
overhead of us,
stage
so we can see
is
it start
following
to come down.
the booster. The hot stage ring is only going to land a couple kilometers off of
I can't wait
offshore.
for us to hear the sonic boom through Dan's mic.
I'm looking forward to hearing what the sonic boom for Super Heavy sounds like, because obviously Falcon 9, you get sort of a
successful
4
on-site
booms, you get a
liftoff
pa
of
pa pa
Starship Flight
on it,
5.
and I want to know if it's the exact same for Super Heavy, because you get it based on the shape of the thing that's making the sonic boom. So you get some off of the grid fins and the base of Falcon 9, I think. I might be wrong. So obviously Super Heavy's similar shape but bigger. I want to know, is the spacing of them going to be different? I'm just nerding out. But we are
And in order
And
to
guys, we should just
only a
be
few seconds away from landing burn.
seconds
Like,
away from landing burn.
yeah, about 30 seconds
It's
away.
gonna happen in 3 phases. We're gonna land on 13 engines, burn off all of
Come on,
them.
come on, come on,
See
come
how
on,
we
come
can
on,
see it
come on, come on.
through the plume.
Come on! They are glowing. That is from the re-entry. The Raptors are glowing because they don't do a re-entry burn. That is amazing. Holy crap! We didn't see that last time, but because it was out in the ocean. But look at that.
moving on the left hand.
Okay, here comes the landing burn, and the landing burn is good. Landing burn's good. Okay, they might have lost. Oh, okay. No, this looks good. This looks good. This looks good. Here it's coming back. Holy. This is a bit fast. This is a bit fast. This is a little bit on the fast side, but they're going for it. No way! No way! First time! Oh, no! That is... How? How do you... These people are geniuses. No. They made it look effortless. It just, yeah, nothing. Boom. And it didn't even look like that burn was going entirely well. I'll have to go back and look at it, but it looked like there was something going on there. And it's just sitting there. There's a little bit of a fire.
Dan, I don't know about you, but we're losing
They-
our stuff.
Okay. They do still have to safe it.
Even at this,
Get all the propellant off and everything and get it on a transport stand. I want to see them stag fire it again. I also really want to see that fire go out. Holy shit. Bravo.
This is a day for
Oh, they're going to be so happy to have those engines back. They went to the effort of like pulling the remains of Booster 11 out of the ocean.
heavy booster, as it has just
Yeah, they've got 33 fully flown Raptor engines there that they can test again. I wonder if they're going to stack fire this booster again.
You are reflecting exactly what everybody else here in Hollywood,
Way.
except maybe a little bit more because you got to see it with your own eyes.
No way.
we got it. But I mean, like,
I said I was confident at the start of this. I wonder how quickly they're going to start processing it. Like how soon until they bring that back down?
I am like shaking right now.
That is...
Yeah, this is not, I mean, it's
Checking on shit.
it's hard to believe that.
Starship nominal orbit insertion.
Oh,
These
right.
crazy
Something news
bastards.
there. It's hard to believe that, you know,
And
Booster isn't the only excitement that
that's
we
to
have
show,
today.
you know,
Confirmation
that's
there, and a gorgeous view
that's
of
what we were all looking at today.
behind,
But
the ship.
a little bit later on, we're
And
going to
it's
get
now
another ship
in
re-entry.
the orbit that we expected it to.
And
This is just an incredible
of course, there it
day.
goes. Look, it's venting, it's safing. That is it. Getting rid of the prop.
That is a live view
And
from the
that.
top of the tower looking at the chopsticks.
I am still in this.
And of course, while we were too busy looking at that, Starship has completed its burn. Go orbital.
It has been non-stop.
No way.
We are all so excited about everything that's been happening so far this morning.
First time.
The booster having completed its job for today.
First
We are
time.
going to take a
That is
short break for the
insane.
next 30 minutes. We'll return back at T plus 40 minutes while the ship continues to
can't.
close before re-entry.
Oh man, and as with previous flights, Starlink may actually enable us to talk with the ship through re-entry with no communication blackout. We of course are still testing Starlink during this phase of flight, so nothing is certain. But
That is
if we do have
mental.
views, we'll be sure to bring those to you live.
Views or
Bravo
reviews, we'll
to
see
the
you
entire
back here
team
at T
behind
plus
that.
40 minutes for coverage
You know,
of
I'm
Starship's
reading
re-entry,
Eric Boyer's
Lunar
latest book at the
landing
moment,
burn,
talking about sort of Falcon 9 and the first landers of that, and Lars Blackmore and all of the team there, and it's just insane to know that this is the evolution of that. You know, you don't need landing legs anymore. Just gonna take a blue booster and just go. I want to see if they show the feed again. I really want to see the sides because it's like how much the chopsticks actually contacted it and everything. But there'll be plenty of time for that. Right now, just enjoy the views and try and take that in. I'm looking at. I've got the NASA spaceflight feed up on my other monitor. They've got the engine section, and that little fire is mostly out. There's a tiny bit. Stuff like this just makes you so excited for the future. Wow. Right. I'm gonna go watch some replays, I think. And I guess I'll be back here in time for the entry of Starship, the re-entry of Starship. That. Absolutely mental. Absolutely mental. To do that on the very first attempt, the largest solid body flying object ever built, and you're gonna pluck it out of the sky like that. I'm so excited to see what they do with that booster now. I'm so excited, and my eyes are trained on it because I remember I remember SN10. So it's not over until it's safe, till the propellant is out of it, and also until they bring it back down to the ground. But it's there. Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Right, I will see you for the re-entry of the ship in a little bit. Wow. Okay. But SpaceX are back. They never went anywhere. There were some amazing views during the coast phase there, but we are...
Starship is in a good attitude for entry, approaching the entry interface.
That's what I was going to say. We're just a few minutes away from Starship entry.
Preparing for re-entry for Starship.
So
And again,
can't let booster heavy, super heavy steal all of the thunder today.
And if you've been watching us for the last few minutes, you can see that the
Obviously last time they made it down, but they just about made it down, and in response to that they completely reworked this ship's heat shield. They added like a secondary layer behind it, beefed up the flap area, all of it, to hopefully get this ship down to a precise point this time when it comes down.
At that point in time, temperatures can be as high as 26,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
I'm getting more and more hyped by the moment. Also, the new camera
Celsius.
views. I can't wait to see the new camera views.
The design itself also permits for rapid reuse
So we
with no refurbishment.
just have my eyes trained at the moment, just looking for that very first little hint of that reddish purple glow of the entry plasma coming in.
The shield alone on the ship has a total
Any
mass
moment now.
of 10.5 tons. Which is crazy because these things are really lightweight. They're made out of ceramic. We have a couple of them here. The one that I'm holding is used on flat surfaces, as so if you go that way, because as it's flat, what Jesse has is kind of more what you see there on the side.
Yeah, exactly. And having these different shapes, the flat version and the curved version, allow us to cover a lot more surface area.
Oh, I can see the first hint.
Again,
just around the bottom there.
Portion of it, so even
Here we go.
surfaces, and especially the hinge area, if you watch Flight 4, is really what we want to make sure that we protect. And yeah, Kate, these are very, very lightweight.
But when you put 18,000 of them together, they add up to 10.5 tons, which is incredible.
That's the first little hint. It is starting to glow. I think last time when they first started coming down, it was in the dark, but obviously now it's daylight.
We can start to see that plasma now starting.
I'm not sure if it's going to be daylight all the way down. I hope it is. Last time I kept going on about, I want to see the blue of the ocean as it lands, and I didn't realize it was nighttime. Oh, this time I really want to see the blue of the ocean as it lands.
Never really have gotten
Actually, you know what? I'm going to try and find it like a day-night map.
Before Flight 4. Yeah. And as Kate mentioned, it's getting a little more red, as you can see there on your screen. That means that heat is building up. But that's exactly what these heat shield tiles are there for, is to protect against this plasma and this really, really extreme heat that the vehicle is going to see for about the
Look
next,
at that. It's just so pretty.
Yeah, so the ship will attempt to.
It's going to be on the west coast of Australia, so now I think it is going to be dark again still
those are the engines that
when it splashes down.
Maneuver or point.
That's alright.
That's
alright.
Flip the ship.
We can cope with it. That looks so good.
Down so that it can
again, views powered by Starlink.
In the ocean. So that will happen after we get through this.
So this time around, as we sort of get into those peak moments of heating, we're looking for less bits coming off it. Basically, you want to see less flashes and stuff flaking away. I'm just looking over the last launch to try and sort of see where it all started coming apart, and it was kind of around 50, I'll say 54, 55 minutes in, where we started really seeing pieces flaking, and then sort of, between like 55 minutes and an hour in. So any moment now we're going to see how much better this heat shield is.
The flaps are controlling the attitude of the vehicle, and I love these views because it looks so calm everything is relative, right? So relative to this camera on the ship, it looks so calm and smooth, but the vehicle is traveling extremely fast.
You
see
can
the
also
speed
tell
on the bottom
that we're not
right-hand
anywhere near the
corner
peak of
your
it yet,
screen.
because you can see
Starship is designed
sort of the
to land
speed
on
is
Mars where
slowly
there are
coming
no
down. It's coming down to,
runways
you
or
know,
other humans to help
79,
out.
78,
So we also
77,
want
76.
rapid
When it's
reusability.
going through the peak of it,
So
that's going to be
doing propulsion
screaming
landing
down
instead of
as the
a
atmosphere
traditional
slows
means
this thing
like
down, using
parachutes. So we will
the
use
planet
parachutes
around you as your
on
brake pad.
this vehicle to help slow the vehicle down for a vertical landing.
Yeah.
It's
Now,
just so
entry
science
is
fiction.
going to basically happen in 5 phases. The first is low drag, that lasts for about 3 minutes. Next is high heating, and that beginning when heating increases above the heat rate breakup limit. That lasts for about 10 minutes. We then have high dynamic pressure. Starship will continue to slow down and experience increased aerodynamic
You can
loads during that
start
phase.
seeing now the
And
speed
that will
coming
happen
down
before reaching
faster and
Mach 1,
faster.
about a minute after.
Starship is approaching the peak heating phase of entry, remains on a nominal trajectory.
It's good news.
Okay, so that was phase 2 that he just called out, that I was mentioning. After peak heating is that dynamic pressure around Mach 1.
I'm gonna, off screen, I'm gonna actually pull up Flight 4 and sync up the timing of it,
and then we go into subsonic,
so I can get a little bit of a comparison.
Wow, what an incredible view.
The colors are so amazing, and the colors actually also tell you a little bit about the temperature that the vehicle is
so
seeing as well.
beautiful.
So I think that's pretty cool that we get this amazing live
Whoa,
vision.
look at that with the new camera.
The flap, we have
I'm
more views.
so happy to see that camera, because obviously what happened last time was, as it all fell apart
we are hoping
and
that
ablated, you
all
got
4
the...
flaps
So you see that
will
reflection? I
stay
think that might be like the RCS pulses. But yeah, last time you saw the bits coming apart and coating the camera lens up, and then the camera lens cracked. Hopefully this one's a lot more shielded, so we'll stay good for longer. Yeah, so when you see that, what looks like a flame there, I think that might be the RCS firing. Reaction control system.
With how fast it's going and how high it is above Earth, using the display that is there on the bottom right-hand side
This
of
looks
the
so
screen.
serene.
Guys, this is where we're really gonna see a lot of those improvements from Flight 4 really coming.
Fingers crossed.
Is you guys kind of talked about, so it's called the static arrow. Those are kind of the poke out points on the flaps. Those get exposed to some pretty extreme heat environments, and so we added some additional, basically made it a lot more robust for the thermal protection there. And we learned not just from visuals and stuff like that. We had
I'm never going to get over these camera
tests
angles.
on Flight 4, where we intentionally left some out, kept in some backup layers. They're called ablatives, which means they just gradually melt away to help dissipate the heat. And we've got an entire layer of ablative underneath the tiles on this Starship today. So even if you get a gap in a tile, or a tile is broken, anything like that, we've got essentially backup options. And what we're really trying to do today is do an on-target landing. As we lost the flaps, you lose a lot of your control, and so we didn't land right on target last flight.
That looks
This time
so
we're trying
cool.
to really nail the target.
So,
within
like,
just
incredibly
tens of
cool.
meters. And that'll just be a really huge step on feeling like we're closer to bringing a ship back. Obviously, there's a lot of work before we get there, but we just caught a booster.
You can see tiny bits of movement coming from the flaps there as it's doing its sort of skydiver maneuver.
So the view on your left is as a helicopter passes by Dan down at Starbase. The view on your left is
They never
a
disappoint
camera
with
positioned near
these
the nose
incredible
of the ship,
camera
looking
angles and
basically
views and
down
stuff like that, and
toward the flap.
I wish other
The view
spaceflight
on
companies
the
would
right is
invest
looking
just as much
perpendicular to the flap. So we're
in
looking basically
public
bird's eye
engagement
view
and
onto
camera
the
views
flap
and stuff
on
like
the
that, because it
left-hand
is
side,
what inspires
and a
people.
worm's eye view,
You know,
from the
spaceflight
side with
is
that view on
so
the right.
cool. It's so inspiring, and then a load of it gets broadcast with like 1980 style CRT era 480i interlaced fuzzy nonsense, and you're just like, I need some 4K in my life.
Starlink,
Like,
it's
this is
incredible that we have have this
Absolutely
high-definition
amazing.
capability. In fact, that view on
I
the
think
left.
The
we're
ship is now halfway through the peak heating phase of entry.
Yeah.
Remains on a good trajectory.
okay.
So great news there, hearing that we're about halfway through the peak heating phase. Like
I love
we
the
said,
rainbowing.
Earlier this last
Even
roughly
the reflection of the
10-ish
stainless
minutes.
steel there.
And we did hear earlier that the flaps have control of the vehicle, so also
This
good
is
news
looking
there.
so
it is
tidy
incredible
right
that
now.
we've basically had views the entire time.
Right. Yeah.
Although
Thanks to Starlink.
my memory did black out
So
a
we're
little bit.
a
after
couple
this
minutes
crash,
away now
so
from
I
the
think
point
we
where
did.
things started to get a little bit messy on Flight 4.
We had some beautiful views of
So we're really getting into the time now where this is a proper full-on test
Yeah. And
of those
I also do
changes.
want to point out on your right hand
Look at
screen,
that.
we've got a more encompassed view of the flap. As we watched in Flight 4, the hinge area was the area where we got a little bit of that burn through. This view, this new camera view on the ship, will help us be able to visually see
Just watching this
more
sort
of
of
what's happening in that area. And again, we have
plasma
improved
interaction
our, heating tiles, and so hopefully we've protected the hinge a lot better this time.
It's so
But again,
awesome.
these views are additional to the data that we get on these.
It's like a
tests that
mirror.
help enable us kind of put the data that we get in the computer to the visuals that we see and try and align those and use that for improvements in the future.
Now, we heard a call out there saying that engine chill has begun. This is an indication that we are starting to flow a little bit of the super cold liquid oxygen through the hardware, through the Raptor engine, specifically the turbo pumps.
So I'm looking at Flight 4, and now is the point where we're getting to where you start seeing a few of those sparks, a little bit of that green of the burn through.
Of propellant at engine startup. So all of that to say, we are getting closer to the landing burn.
So far, this is looking a lot neater.
The bottom right hand of your screen, you can see the altitude that the ship is, and it has been slowly making its way closer and closer to Earth. We're currently at about 63 kilometers from planet Earth, and you'll see that number trend lower and lower as we get closer and continue through this reentry.
Yeah, this is going to go on for a little, actually a while longer. We have about 10 minutes or so, roughly, before we execute the landing, the ignition for the landing burn.
Such a nail-biting period, and of course, normally this would be like no comms, no nothing. You'd just be sitting here waiting to see if it survived. I don't know which is better, not knowing at all or being able to see in real time. Like last time when we were watching that flap come apart was one of the tensest things I've ever seen.
And as we start to really get
properly
lower,
scrubbing
we're
the
gonna
speed
start
off now.
Seeing the atmosphere's effects start to take place, and that's when we'll be dropping our speed down closer to the speed of sound. You'll see the flaps start to maneuver. We were able to do a landing burn on Flight 4, which kind of caught all of us off guard. It was pretty incredible after seeing the flaps survive through. And we're going to try and do another one.
I was not expecting the landing burn last time. I think you saw I was absolutely shocked until we saw the Raptor's gimbal. I thought, holy crap, the engines are still alive. But here we go now. We're getting into that properly rough part.
Keep the ship intact, and then if we're able to then get some additional video of it, again, that's just more data. And everything we can see, everything we can get extra, like a couple extra seconds or minutes of data coming from the ship after
Starship has
splashdown.
passed through the peak heating phase of flight, approaching maximum entry dynamic pressure.
All right, we're through peak heating. Coming up is basically max Q part 2, where we're gonna hit kind of that part of the curve where we're still moving really fast, and the atmosphere is just dense enough that we're feeling.
Oh, even more camera views of the flaps. So we got both flaps and both aft flaps and one of the forward ones there, I think. Wow.
Looks like we got more views of each of the flaps on the ship as it's making its way back down to Earth.
So we've got 3 out of the 4 flaps, and this is the point now where last time we started seeing that burn through.
Still got really good views throughout that whole period. Typically during the highest heat on the vehicle.
It all
we tend to
looks,
build up a
it looks
lot of
clean at the
plasma, and
moment.
that's typically
Again,
when we would,
I'm looking at the last slide on my other screen, and this is the point where like tiles were falling off, and it was burning through the flap. And I was convinced that the actuator just wasn't going to work. You can see a point there where the tiles are glowing, just right where the flap is. Wow,
the subsonic, when we're starting to move closer to and
that is
beneath the
incredible.
speed of sound. And I mean, we're getting live views, we're getting live data. We've got a couple additional tests on this one today where we left off some missing tiles again to
don't mess with my heart like that, SpaceX.
Layers. We also have, I don't know if we can still quite see them in this view, but you may have noticed we had some kind of silvery looking tiles on Starship as well. And those were pretty much standard tiles, but they were wrapped in aluminum. And it was a pretty simplistic, straightforward one where aluminum starts to melt at roughly the same temperature where steel starts to lose its strength, not necessarily melt. And so if we see stuff melting, what
was that react? Oh yeah, a tiny bit of.
We know what our steel is going to be exposed to, but
you can see a bit of heat coming through that flap there, that forward one.
On transonic and everything, just about 3 minutes.
Now the views here, we have coverage of all 4 flaps.
That is a burn through starting up.
So for those that perhaps
we're back to nail biting. Come on.
There are 2 flaps at the forward end and 2 flaps at the aft end. The larger camera view that is there on the right-hand side of your screen, that is a view of one of the aft end or the bottom end flaps. We can start to see some heat buildup and peeking through on one of the flaps there in the top left-hand corner of your screen.
Oof. That's getting spicy.
Once again, Starship now at T+1 hour and 9 seconds into its flight today, re-entering the Earth's atmosphere. Currently about
and you can see on the main one, you see sort of the glowing red embers. That's going to be that ablative layer heating up and sort of the ambers from that
northwest-ish of
sizzling.
Australia. And we are attempting to, as we did on Flight 4, make a perform a flip maneuver as well as
Starship is at maximum entry dynamic pressure, remains on a good trajectory.
All right, so that is great news there. Like Dan said earlier, this is basically
it is
part 2. So this is the greatest amount
a lot of sparks there, but we are starting to cool back down now, I think.
That the vehicle will experience during its flight. It's coming back through the Earth's atmosphere. You know, it was above the Earth's atmosphere in space where
it's gone through the hardest part. So now we just need to see has everything survived. You can see sort of
the atmosphere is actually helping to slow the vehicle down.
The lighting is coming down. It's getting darker now as we're back into the atmosphere. Still decelerating, but that is the brunt of it over now. So it's just about whether everything survived, whether all the flap actuators work, whether the Raptors are all good, if they can gimbal, if they can ignite.
The main objectives for the ship today
We're not far now.
Demonstrate controlled re-entry during this phase of
and again,
phase.
sort of an interesting thing will be how accurate can they get the landing, because obviously last time it did do a soft splash down, but it was not a pinpoint landing. It was, you know, within a radius of several kilometers, I think. So it'll be interesting to see now, because we want to know how quickly we can get to catching Starship itself as well as Super Heavy. But for that, we need to get these re-entries properly nailed in.
In the water. It's probably going to feel a little bit harder on the top of the surface of the water, but it'll look pretty gentle.
Yeah, and like we said earlier, we hope to have some more views, even of that phase of the flight. So fingers crossed that we can.
But for a second time,
we can bring those to you.
Starship has made it back through the Earth's atmosphere.
Softer than we did last time on Flight 4. Right now, Starship continuing to make its descent back to planet Earth.
Mark 2 remains on a good trajectory.
Okay.
All right, great news there. That tells us that the vehicle is traveling twice more than.
I
is
see a
traveling
flap
twice the speed
moving.
of sound. So we will then, the next call out that we'll hear is that it is, traveling about the speed of sound. And then we will hear a call out that it is, that will be the call out that it is transonic. And then we will hear another call out saying that it is subsonic, meaning going slower than the speed of sound.
Starship is transonic.
There it is. So at this
Under the
point
speed
in
of sound
time,
now, it is doing that.
we say
It is doing that
transonic
belly
because
flop.
certain parts of the vehicle,
That
like the
skydive
flaps you
maneuver
see
where it is
on your
controlling itself
screen, might
with
be
those flaps to keep itself
experiencing
level.
airflow faster than the speed of sound.
And we're coming up on a flip and burn maneuver in a few kilometers.
May be experiencing airflow.
Starship is in a subsonic belly flop.
All right, so now the entire vehicle is traveling slower than the speed of sound, so that was subsonic. The crowd here at Mission Control Hawthorne also getting excited, just like us. We're awaiting a water landing. We are going to reignite the 3 engines to perform that flip maneuver, and we're basically about a minute and a
going
half
for it.
away from the landing flip.
Yeah,
It's going for it, and it is dead solid as well. If you look at the little indicator down there, it's flat. Last time around, I think it was very nose down with its belly flop because of what had happened to those flaps. So again, is a good sign.
And it is a little bit dark on your screen, but hopefully we'll get some good views of the ship as it makes that flip maneuver. And
what time was the
guys, we
flip?
saw that,
1 hour, 5 minutes, 15 seconds is when it was
so we're
forecast to
basically, we're
be.
in a belly flip right now, or a
So we
belly
shall
flop
see.
right now. That's what's kind of, if you saw the high altitude campaign, that's a unique thing about how Starship comes back. So
The star of the show today is these Raptor engines. See if they relight. They've gotten so reliable recently.
Starship is at platform to altitude.
You know, all 33 of them lit today. Powered super heavy up.
Five to go.
Just waiting to
Coming
see
up
now.
soon, landing burn.
If we get a relight, a nice smooth flip and burn. Cherry on top for a perfect test flight.
2 kilometers away.
Starship is on target. Approaching landing burn.
On target. Wow.
So keep an eye.
Go any second now. We'll see those flaps tuck.
That will be the indicator when the
Raptors will come on.
Ignite, if we are unable to see that illumination ourselves. Landing bird startup.
Here we go. Flaps tuck in. Do a flip. Oh, the Raptors up.
Reflection of that landing burn.
Yeah. There we go. Fantastic. 20 kilometers an hour, 10, 9, 8, 7, 7 kilometers an hour. That'll do. And it's going to just go sploosh back into the ocean. Every time the engine indicator thing in the bottom right not coming on. It got me last time. It got me this time. Whoa! Yes! Yes, it wouldn't be a proper test flight without at least one boom. That's completely fine, by the way. That's cool. That's okay. It tipping over and blowing up is fine. As long as it got back down to the ocean nice and soft. That was fantastic. Look at that go.
We were not intending to recover any of the ship's hardware, so that was the best ending that we could have.
Wow. They are treating us today.
Man,
Oh boy.
I don't think we're going to be able to get a ton of extra video of the heat shield, but we hit the target. Yeah. I mean, we hit the target because
It's on
we
camera.
had these buoys placed in a
It's on. It landed where it needed to land. Wow.
That's what I get to say. What a day.
Wow.
I mean,
So,
everything's
Starship
starting
catch next flight, yeah?
off today with that
Just get
launch.
boost, get super heavy off the
We
chopsticks
were able to
quickly.
lift off
That is
towards the end of our
incredible.
window, 7:25 a.m. Central Time. 33 out of 33 Raptors in the way uphill. Successful hot stage. Booster came back. We watched it come down.
It's just all eyes now on when they start taking payload up.
Watched it get caught. And that broke my brain for
especially now Super Heavy is landing. That first processing of a Super Heavy and a refiring and a reflight of Super Heavy is going to be the major milestone here. Because they can just start cranking out those ships, build a few Super Heavies, get these yeeting some Starlinks up there, get it in actual orbit. There needs to be a few more test flights because they still need to do a full orbit insertion and deorbit burn. But twice now they've been able to fire up these Raptor engines after re-entering the atmosphere, so I don't think there's any worry about firing those in orbit.
Congratulations to our teammates and to everyone who supported the Starship program. And thank you to all of our future customers for your support. And we'll also like to thank the people of Cameron County, Texas, as well as the Coast Guard, the Federal Aviation Administration.
Oh, they thanked the FAA.
Mexico and the Australian.
The beef is over. They're back to being
Now, be sure
besties.
to follow SpaceX on X for more
How
updates
incredible.
on today's test flight.
I will be sure to
And,
follow
of course,
SpaceX
for
on
future
Twitter.
Starship news.
Wow,
Today
that was
amazing. But the
incredible.
SpaceX
Come on,
action
show us
is
the
over
booster
yet.
again. Show us the
Soon,
booster
Falcon
again.
Heavy will launch NASA's Europa Clipper, and we're also going to be returning Dragon back to Earth with NASA's Crew
What
8
an
astronauts.
incredible
So
show.
congratulations again to the SpaceX team. What an amazing launch and an even cooler catch. Thank you for watching, but we're going to leave you with an awesome recap of what has been the most epic day.
Ooh, let's get a recap. Look at that. Look at that. They haven't shown this footage yet. That was near perfect. That was near perfect. Talk about accurate. Wow. Wow. Marvelous. Simply incredible. It's just simply incredible. I doff my cap. Well done, that. See you for Flight 6.